Going to be many financial decisions you have to make. You have to prepare properly. Well, here to help us with that, I'm joined by Shivani Oberoi from the Oberoi Financial Group. Welcome to the show. It's great to have you here. And we're going to go through some steps that people need to take when divorce arises. The first one you say is don't become a financial victim. Shivani, what do you mean by that exactly?
So divorce is a very emotional time for a lot of people, and the common mistake that divorcing spouses make is being left in the dark about their financial situation. So whether it be bank accounts, credit card statements, tax returns, make copies of all these documents and then really sit down and be proactive in understanding your financial situation during the marriage.
Right.
And then seek the right professional help if the need be. Don't rely on your lawyer to give you the advice on the finances because they may not be a specialist in this.
Yeah, and oftentimes, right, in a marriage, one spouse takes, care of the bills and the banking and that kind of thing, so you really are in the dark.
Exactly. So it's really important to understand that not only do your research, but then understanding the documents.
Right. Next up is make a post-divorce financial budget.
Right. So people tend to underestimate the expenses they will incur or the financial situation post-divorce. So I think in this situation, it's important to seek the professional help, whether it be a financial planner, a financial advisor, to really sit down and help you analyze where you're going to have to cut, but without really compromising your lifestyle,
right,
but still maintaining those goals that you have for retirement or not. And with the help of the financial advisor, you'll have a little bit more clarity because of the emotional time that you're going through.
Right. Next up is tax implications and assets evaluation. Tax implications, it can be a really tricky one for people, right?
Right. So first and foremost, get your assets professionally evaluated if you can.
Okay.
But once you get that number, you have to understand there will be tax implications, whether it be on the assets that you're receiving. If you don't understand those tax implications, you may be forced with a huge tax bill, and then again, that may not fit into your budget.
Right.
So, and the other thing is, if you are receiving any type of support, you have to realize there will be tax implications on that as well. So you have to take into account that amount that you'll be receiving on an after-tax basis.
So is child support and spousal support considered income then?
It can be, yes.
It can be, okay.
Again, I'm not a tax specialist.
Right, of course.
So you'd have to sit down with that specialist to really get those numbers, but it can be. So anything that you receive, assets, support, make sure that you look at it on an after-tax basis so you have the right numbers in your mind when you're doing your budget.
Right. Next we have insurance and accounts. Tell us about this.
Right. So there's a lot of different insurances that come into play. I would think health insurance and life insurance would be the more important ones in this case.
Right.
Often spouses are on either their spouse's health insurance. So again, that will be an added expense that people may not think that they have to add on to their budget, that they'll have to take care of themselves.
Right.
And life insurance, extremely important if there's children involved, whether they're young or a bit older. If you're receiving support or you're the one giving the spousal support, you want to ensure that in the event that one of the spouses does pass away, that support will continue and the children's, whatever their goals or education, will not be compromised in terms of finances.
And sometimes that's written right into the separation agreement.
Right, so you have to make sure you have that into the separation agreement to protect your needs as well as your kids.
Quickly, last one is change beneficiaries and will.
Right, so just because you're getting a divorce does not mean your wills and your beneficiaries will change automatically.
Okay.
I suggest you do that right away, update your will, change your beneficiaries, but then revisit it again a couple months down the road just to make sure, with a little bit more clarity when things are a little bit more settled, just to make sure you've put the right people in place to receive your assets, but make sure that gets done right away. Extremely important. You want to ensure that your assets are going to the right people.
We saw that with the death of Prince, right?
Exactly.
Look at what's happening now with that family. Always a pleasure having you here, Shivani. Thank you so much for being here.